Dhammavandana.
Namaste. I'm very happy to welcome you to our new series, Eternalism versus Timelessness. And this will be a contrast on the concept of time in the Vedic teaching and the Buddha's teaching. So, this is a very deep topic. We're in the deep end of the pool, kiddies, so wear your flotation device. And if things get too deep, post a question in the comments, and I'll be glad to address it in the next episode. So, first of all, this prayer that we just heard, this introductory prayer, is called Dhammavandana. Dhammavandana is known by every practicing Buddhist, and it's about the 6 qualities of the Buddha's Dhamma. Now, first of all, I should clarify the term Dhamma. Dhamma is Pali, and it's derived from the Sanskrit Dharma. And Dharma, the meaning can be a religious teaching or way of life. It can mean a philosophy, an ontology, a universal structure. But the real meaning of Dharma is the real nature of things, the real nature of reality, as it is. So the Buddha Dhamma is Buddha's realization of the reality. Just like the Vedic Dharma is the Vedic version of the same thing. Both are simply systems of terminology, models of reality. Obviously, there's only one reality. There's only one mountain. But there are different paths leading to the top from different sides. So that's all these are. They're frameworks. They're backgrounds. They're a scaffolding on which to erect our mindfulness to lead us to the truth. No more than that. So what are these 6 qualities? Well, first of all, svakato, it is well preached. The Buddha taught for 50 years, and the suttas are voluminous. There's thousands of suttas. Some are deeper than others, depending on who was listening and the questions they asked. So sometimes the Buddha preached in summary to very intelligent people, and to ordinary people, he preached in detail. So one can study these sutras, and we certainly advise to do that. Secondly, sanditthiko. It can be seen here and now. This is not something about some after-death state, like going to heaven. Sometimes people compare nirvana or nibbana with going to heaven after death. No. It's seen here and now. If you follow this teaching, you get immediate results. And that's borne out by the next one, Akāliko. It is immediate and timeless. In other words, the nature of reality is always the nature of reality. And because of that, if you realize that nature, you get the result of liberation immediately. You don't have to wait. Ehipassiko. It invites one to come and see. This is not just theoretical. Don't trust anybody who translates Dhamma as doctrine. Because doctrine is dogmatism. No, we're talking about a way of life. We're talking about a practical teaching. Right? Come and see. Try it. Get the result. Then, Opanayiko. It leads one on, step by step, from ordinary consciousness to the highest liberation. And finally, Pachatang Veditabbo Vinyuhi. It is realized directly by the wise, each one for himself. In other words, it's an individual thing. The instructions the Buddha gave are general. See, really they're directed at the most intelligent class of people. And most of the people who came to the Buddha were Brahmins. They had a very strong Vedic background. But other types of people can also realize this teaching. Nobody is exempt, or nobody is disqualified, because each one can adapt it to his own needs and realize it for himself. Now, in this series, which is going to be kind of short, we are going to concentrate on Akāliko, timelessness. Now, let's take a look at that. For a long time, the meaning of this timelessness escaped me. I have to admit, I didn't get it. I thought it was the same as eternal, but it's not. And in this video, we're going to explain the distinction. It's quite subtle, but it's definitely there, and it has consequences for our self-realization. Now, is eternalism and timelessness, are they really different? Are they so different that it's going to impact our meditation, our spiritual life, our practices? Yes. But the aim is the same. Check out this quotation from Lord Shiva. Whoever meditates on that supreme void and becomes established in it by virtue of constant practice will definitely attain the great state which is beyond birth and death. Now contrast that with this quote from Lord Buddha. Look upon the world as void, Mogharāja, being mindful at all times, uprooting the lingering view of self, get well beyond the range of death. The king of death gets no chance to see one who looks thus upon the world. So they're talking about the same thing, okay? The problem is, and has always been, that the Vedic teaching is actually established on duality. It's established on the concept of existence. And even Brahman, the supreme in the Vedic teaching, is said to exist. However, in the Buddhist teaching, a distinction is made between existence, being, coming into manifestation, coming into the world, and liberation, nibbana, moksha, freedom. Because you can't have both. And to think that Brahman, the absolute, exists, drags it into time. Now let's take a look and see how that is so. In the Vedic teaching, Sanātana-Dharma. Sanātana means eternal, beginningless and endless, forever in past and future. Now, the corollaries of this view are that the world, the past, and the future exist and are objectively real. Now, contrast that with the Buddha's view, Akāliko-Dhamma, timeless or immediate, outside of time, forever in the here and now. Now, the corollaries of this view is that the world, the past, and future are imaginary, and only the present subjective experience is conditionally real. The actual reality, of course, is nibbana, moksha, liberation. So what does this mean? It means that the Vedic view is always beset and hampered and contained within this context of duality. The word the Buddha uses is sakkāyadiṭṭhi dukkha, the eternalism dyad, views about eternalism and views about annihilation. So one who is in this mindset of eternalism is always going to be afraid of annihilation. But without giving up existence, one cannot reach enlightenment, the supreme enlightenment. So we see in history and also by experience of the Vedic path, the Advaita Vedanta, that those who follow this path reach a certain point beyond which they cannot go without a death-like experience of dissolution. Ramana Maharshi, several of my friends who studied with different Advaita teachers who have some realization have told me about this, and I experienced it myself. However, what I experienced was a very mild version. Sometimes it's just terrifying. Why is that? Why does somebody have to go through this terrifying experience in order to reach enlightenment? And the answer is because the Vedic view is saturated with time, eternity, as being real. That existence is real, and ultimate existence is Brahman. But practically speaking, on the path, when you get deep into meditation, you're confronted with emptiness, nothingness. And people have different theories about it. But the fact is, you have to go through this emptiness or into this emptiness to attain the ultimate realization. And so this is a difficulty. This is a great difficulty. And many people have turned back upon reaching the gate of emptiness. Oh, I know so many stories. Now, the Buddha's view is different. The Buddha's view of Akālika means simply not dependent on time, not limited to a particular time, immediate and immediately effective. So, the Buddha's teaching is founded on this view of timelessness from the very beginning. Ramana Maharshi used to talk about his experiences with time and how to him time was so illusory. Sometimes he had grave doubts about what year it was. Is it really 1947? No. So, in the same way, someone who reaches self-realization by any path is going to have a different attitude towards time than someone who is stuck in duality. The Vedic teaching is founded on the view of existence and duality. And only at the very end of the path does one transcend it. Whereas the Buddha's teaching is founded on timelessness and voidness from the very beginning. And that makes all the difference. Because then the follower of the Buddha can go step by step and gradually let go of all the attachments. And in this series, we're going to show you exactly how to do that so that you don't have to go through this terrifying death experience to reach enlightenment. Buddha Saranai.